Since it's, the 9 worlds, and everyone was looking for the compass of dark waters, and it's not just a sober living with a fruit drink, or a fruit cup, or a fruit cake. Survival wasn't the option. After, the CIA plagiarized Law and Order themes, it's been going on for 10 years straight in my lifetime. And a lot of people went missing. Their bodies were not found. There's no survivors. And if there's no survivors, we didn't find their bodies, including in my own. Birth tree. The only timeline I'm allowed to let myself work with, when I allow myself, is knowledge wasn't the power. And it's a coincidence to make an acquaintance that is not out of the worship of harm or the acts of evil. All I can allow myself to do is rely on first aid, do the theory of a forest, because it's from the Legend of Zelda. And when they plagiarized Law and Order, it said roleplay. I didn't realize it was a bully. It's like coming from a rarity when it's difficult to talk about how the United States and United Kingdom was a fossil and there's a reef at their door. And it's within this solar galaxy. And no matter how many times I can change the word into a different translation of the biblical years, so that I make sure I have mercy for others, because this was very unnatural experiences for people when there's no survivors. And their bodies went missing, their bodies are never found. It's not just CIA bullies. It's like a bunch of plagiarism. And it seems like their motive is the blog spots that they crash into. Because they're using it to like get back to their they stole so much American money. So much American money, so much name brand. It's like the motive is just name brand. And that doesn't make sense to me, because I was in the city of gold. And I honestly believe that you have to go and look at the NASA museum to configure ancient Egypt, because there's a lot of the United States history missing from these milestones. The Miami planetarians of a dying planet. And since it was inside this solar galaxy, it has closed the gaps of time and space with the multiverse. with the scientific explanation for God's Earth is a dinosaur. And something's wrong if that was the motive. Because they would fight over Earth. And we would always, me and my friends, would always invite them to read a Bible. That's the only thing that existed at the time. During a, this is a life crisis for people. When you see the acts of harm and it looks like human trafficking again. Because I looked at the robot chicken of Adult Swim. Yes, that's a big digital impact too. It's a big digital impact. And it's like, I've been in the City of Gold. I've been given an invite to retire into their work study. And for somehow the Legend of Zelda just helped out. Because when the fish got reeled in, it was a real fish. And they used bait of lurks for lurking near the forest temple. And it sounds like a fairy tale. Little Halloween stories from Party City. But it looked like something was unusual when it is that violent and you get tranquilized by a unknown forces of the universe. And feels like I have unfinished business on Earth. Due to circumstances, I would believe my own lie if I had to lie about the circumstances of a Cyberman, a cyberbully. The excuse of a CIA bully. When there's like there's like 1,400 victims, 1,600 victims, all at one time, in different places, time. People, there's different people, places, and things, and it's just CIA bully sounds like an excuse to get away with these war crimes of planetary. And if it did reach the multiverse, it's too late. Because Chinatown only timeline that. They only timeline that from 1996. These are rare creatures. These are rare people. Can you imagine walking into the forest temple? Behind a brick house. And all you find, little dead things. There's no people around. You're surrounded by the City of Gold. There's no pleasure in that acquaintance. And you find a book. Its given name was a Bible. The judgment of the undead. That's what sober living is. It's the undead. everything passed away. But I still feel a difference from 62 billion years ago. I believe that tradition is a culture, and it's sealed away from time and space. But yet, I'm the invite to hell on earth. But yet, if you pick up a Bible through all that hell of all the struggles and all that fear, when the skies open, the heavens fall, the gates of hell was closed.